All right, folks, welcome back to Frameshift, where we chronicle the slow motion collapse of everything you used to care about. I'm your host, and today we're talking about Jeremy Renner. Yes, that Jeremy Renner, the guy who shoots arrows at aliens, who has once again announced that he's done with Marvel. And I say once again because this is apparently the third time he's had to clarify his retirement status, which raises an important question. How bad does a workplace have to be that you need to quit 3 separate times before anyone believes you? So let's get into it, because this isn't just about one actor and one franchise. This is about what happens when a multi-billion-dollar entertainment empire forgets to entertain anyone, including the people who work there. Here's what happened. Jeremy Renner, who, if you've forgotten, plays Hawkeye, the Avenger, who brought a bow to a gunfight and somehow survived, recently sat down for an interview with comicbook.com, and they asked him the question that apparently no one at Marvel Studios thought to clarify. Are you coming back for Avengers-Doomsday? His answer: a very polite, very definitive nope. According to Renner, Hawkeye's story ended with the Disney Plus series. You know, the one where he passed the torch to Kate Bishop, played by Haley Steinfeld, and what was supposed to be a graceful exit for the character. Renner said, and I quote, "I've done all I wanted to do with him. I gave it my all, and I passed it on to an amazing actress." Sounds pretty final, right? Except this is the third time he's had to say this. As reported by Complex, Renner previously addressed his Marvel status back in February, and then again in another interview, because apparently the internet and possibly Marvel's own PR department keeps acting like he never said anything. It's like that friend who keeps inviting you to their pyramid scheme even after you've blocked their number twice. But here's where it gets darker. In that same Complex interview, Renner was asked about Jonathan Majors, the actor who was set to play Kang the Conqueror, the next big bad, until he was convicted of assault and harassment and subsequently dropped by Marvel faster than you can say corporate liability. And Renner, bless him, gave possibly the most diplomatically damning response I've ever heard. He said, "It sucks for anybody that's let go or removed, but we all have to move on." Now, on the surface, that sounds neutral. But let's read between the lines here, because what Renner is actually saying is, yeah, it's messy. Yeah, it's complicated. And yeah, I don't want to be part of this circus anymore. Okay, let's talk about what's really going on here. Marvel Studios, the company that literally prints money by putting people in spandex and having them punch CGI monsters, has managed to create a workplace environment so chaotic that actors are publicly distancing themselves in real time. And not just any actors. We're talking about people who are in the biggest movie franchise of all time. Think about that. The MCU made $29 billion at the box office. Billion with a B. And yet here we are watching Jeremy Renner, a guy who survived being run over by a snowplow, by the way, which is an objectively more life-threatening situation than most of us will ever face, essentially saying, nah, I'm good. I'll take my chances with the snowplows. And you know what? I don't blame him, because let's be real, the MCU isn't what it used to be. It's not 2012 anymore. It's not even 2019. We've entered what I like to call the content sludge era, where Marvel is churning out so many movies and TV shows that even the people making them can't keep track. Remember when Marvel movies were events? When you'd see an Avengers film and feel like you'd witnessed something culturally significant. Now it's like, oh, there's another Marvel thing this week. Cool. I'll add it to the pile of stuff I'll never watch. And I think that's what Renner is responding to. He's not just tired of playing Hawkeye, he's tired of being part of a machine that stopped caring about the stories it's telling. Because let's be honest, the Hawkeye series was actually good. It was small scale, character driven, funny, heartfelt. It felt like someone gave a shit. But now Marvel's in full panic mode. They've lost their central villain. They've recast Doctor Doom with Robert Downey Jr., which is either a stroke of genius or a sign that they've completely run out of ideas. They're rebooting, recasting and re-explaining their way through a narrative that's become so convoluted that even the writer's room probably needs a flowchart and a priest. And here's the thing that really gets me. Renner has to keep clarifying his retirement because the fans won't let him leave. Think about that. We live in a world where people are so attached to fictional characters that they refuse to accept when an actor is done playing them. It's like we've collectively decided that actors don't get to have boundaries, that they owe us something beyond the work they've already done. And look, I get it. We love these characters. I love these characters. But there's something deeply broken about a system where Jeremy Renner, who again almost died, has to go on interview after interview to convince people that he's serious about moving on with his life. Oh, and can we talk about the Jonathan Majors situation for a second? Because that's the other layer of dysfunction here. Marvel bet bet the entire next phase of their franchise on this guy. They introduced him in Loki, brought him back in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and set him up as the next Thanos. And then, oops, turns out he's got some serious legal and personal issues, and now Marvel has to scramble to find a new villain. But here's the kicker. According to Superhero Hype, Marvel didn't even tell the actors what was happening. Renner's out here being asked about it in interviews, and he's clearly just as confused as the rest of us, which means Marvel's communication strategy is apparently say nothing and hope it all blows over. Spoiler alert, it's not blowing over, but here's the thing that actually makes me sad about all this. Jeremy Renner is a good actor. He's been in The Hurt Locker, The Town, Wind River, movies that actually matter, and he clearly cared about Hawkeye. You can see it in the Disney Plus series. He gave that character a real emotional arc, a sense of closure. He passed the torch to the next generation in a way that felt meaningful, and now he's stuck doing press tours where he has to defend his decision to leave a franchise that doesn't even seem to know what it's doing anymore. That's the real tragedy here. Not that Hawkeye's retired, but that Marvel has become such a grinding, soulless content factory that actors would rather walk away than stick around, even when they're being offered millions of dollars to do so. Because at the end of the day, money can't buy you meaning, and I think that's what Renner figured out. He almost died, he survived, and now he's looking at his life and thinking, do I really want to spend the next 5 years in a green screen room pretending to care about a multiverse storyline that even the writers don't understand? And the answer is no. The answer is, I'm good. I've got better things to do, and honestly, good for him. So here's the takeaway, folks. Jeremy Renner has retired from the MCU. For the third time, and this time he really means it, and if Marvel keeps asking, he might have to take out a full-page ad in Variety just to make it official. But beyond the jokes, this is a perfect microcosm of where we are as a culture. We've built these massive entertainment empires that churn out content at such a relentless pace that even the people inside them are burning out, and instead of slowing down, instead of asking, hey, are we making anything good anymore, we just keep going faster, louder, more. And eventually people like Jeremy Renner look around and say, you know what, I'm done, I'm out, I'm going to go live my life and maybe not almost die again. And honestly, that's the sanest decision anyone in Hollywood has made in years. Anyway, that's today's episode of Frameshift, where the world mutates faster than we can keep up. And sometimes the only sane response is to grab your bow, retire to your farm, and never look back. Thanks for listening. See you next time, assuming we all survive the next multiverse reboot.